Beverly Hills isn't just a place, it's a balance sheet. For decades, the world believed this city was built on fame, red carpets, and movie deals. That story is obsolete. Today, the real power in 90,210 belongs to women who don't chase attention. They don't need the spotlight because they own the stage. They hold equity. They control brands, land, intellectual property, and the supply chains that move billions of dollars quietly through the global economy without ever announcing it. Some began as actresses. Some arrived as immigrants with nothing but ambition. Some inherited legacies and multiplied them into empires. But all of them did the same thing. They turned Beverly Hills into a fortress of female capital. We traced the assets, the companies, and the ownership structures to reveal the richest women in Beverly Hills. And the woman at number 1 doesn't just live in this zip code, she financially defines it. At number 10 is Jessica Alba, the mogul who pivoted. We begin our climb into the stratosphere of wealth with a woman who rewrote the script on celebrity entrepreneurship. For years, Jessica Alba was the face on the poster, Dark Angel, Fantastic Four, the Hollywood it girl the industry loved to package and sell. But while the world was tracking her box office numbers, Alba was looking at something else entirely, the ingredient label on her baby detergent. What she found didn't just worry her, it shocked her. That moment didn't inspire a brand deal. It sparked a $100 million idea. In 2011, long before clean beauty became a marketing buzzword, Alba launched The Honest Company. Not as a vanity project, not as celebrity merch, but as a full-scale consumer packaged goods operation built from the ground up, taking aim at a market ruled by chemical giants like Procter & Gamble. Critics laughed and expected a short-lived side hustle. Instead, they got a unicorn. At its peak, The Honest Company was valued at nearly $2 billion. When it went public, Alba didn't just ring the bell, she cemented her status as one of the rare entertainers who successfully crossed into the boardroom of a publicly traded company. Even as markets fluctuated and valuations corrected, her personal fortune remained resilient, estimated around $100 million. Her wealth isn't only held in shares, it's held in something more durable, the brand equity of being the woman who proved that safe, non-toxic products could still look luxurious on a Beverly Hills countertop. She lives the lifestyle to match, in a soulful canyon estate she personally renovated, not a flashy marble box built for attention, but a curated sanctuary designed by someone who built her fortune on clean living. Jessica Alba proves that in Beverly Hills, the smartest money doesn't come from pretending to be someone else. It comes from solving a problem before the world even realizes it exists. At number 9 is Kathy Hilton, the matriarch of the socialite dynasty. If Beverly Hills had a royal family, Kathy Hilton would be the queen mother. The world knows her daughters, Paris and Nikki, as cultural icons who helped launch the influencer era, but it's Kathy who holds the keys to the dynasty's lasting power: social influence, financial continuity, and legacy control. Her wealth, estimated around $350 million, is a masterclass in marriage, real estate, and elite longevity. She married Richard Hilton, grandson of hotel magnate Conrad Hilton, but to dismiss her as simply the wife of is to misunderstand how the Hilton machine actually works. Kathy has long been a quiet partner in the family's expansive real estate world, including Hilton and Highland, the high-end brokerage firm behind some of the most expensive home sales in Los Angeles history. And beyond the dynasty's holdings, she has always had her own hustle, from retail ventures to her modern resurgence as a fan favorite on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Her warm, playful demeanor masks sharp instincts for brand management and social positioning. She lives in a colossal Beverly Hills-adjacent estate that feels less like a home and more like a living museum of American wealth, where blue and white porcelain, towering holiday displays, and a staff operating with 5-star precision create an atmosphere of quiet command. Kathy Hilton represents the old guard of Beverly Hills money, the kind that doesn't shout because the last name already does the talking. In a town built on quick exits and new fortunes, she is the anchor, proof that true wealth is about longevity, connections, and never running out of chilled champagne. At number 8 is Candy Spelling, the architect of the mega mansion. To understand the scale of Beverly Hills real estate, you have to understand Candy Spelling, because she didn't just live in luxury, she helped define what luxury would look like in modern Los Angeles. Alongside her late husband, legendary television producer Aaron Spelling, she became part of the blueprint for Hollywood wealth. Aaron produced hits like Charlie's Angels, Dynasty, and Beverly Hills 90,210, But their crowning achievement wasn't a show, it was a house. The Manor. This wasn't a home. It was a 56,000 square foot palace with 123 rooms, a bowling alley, a flower cutting room, and even an entire room dedicated to gift wrapping. When Aaron passed away, Candy inherited the bulk of his empire, a fortune that has grown to an estimated $600 million. She later sold the manor in a record-setting deal that shocked the luxury market at the time, but she didn't downsize. She moved into the century, buying multiple floors to create a sky-high residence that rivals many ground-level estates. Candy Spelling represents wealth transition, taking the fortune built in the golden age of television and converting it into a diversified portfolio of high-end real estate, investments, and cultural influence. She was the producer's wife who became the producer of her own life, turning legacy into leverage and history into a living asset. At number 7 is Anastasia Soar, the immigrant who shaped the American brow. The American dream is alive in Beverly Hills, and it looks perfectly arched. Anastasia Soar, founder of Anastasia Beverly Hills, went from Romanian immigrant to beauty mogul in one of the most remarkable business stories of our time. When she arrived in Los Angeles, she spoke no English and worked in a salon until she noticed something no one else took seriously: eyebrows. She began applying the golden ratio, a mathematical principle of beauty and balance used by artists like Leonardo da Vinci to shape her clients' brows with precision. To skeptics, it sounded absurd. To supermodels, it felt like magic. Her client list grew to include Cindy Crawford, Naomi Campbell, and eventually Oprah Winfrey. She launched her first product line, but her brand's true explosion came with the rise of social media. While legacy brands hesitated, Anastasia leaned into the digital era, sending products to influencers and high-profile celebrities early, including the Kardashians. Anastasia Beverly Hills became one of the first viral sensations of the modern beauty economy, and her net worth rose into the hundreds of millions, with estimates reaching close to $1 billion. She lives in a grand Beverly Hills estate that mirrors her journey, elegant, gold-accented, and meticulously designed. She didn't inherit a penny. She built this fortune detail by detail, proving that in Beverly Hills, niche expertise paired with modern marketing can become an empire. At number 6 is Taylor Swift, the music industry sovereign. Most people think of Taylor Swift as Nashville royalty or a New York powerhouse, but her Beverly Hills footprint is historic. Swift isn't just a pop star, she's a preservationist with a real estate portfolio worth well into 9 figures, and the crown jewel sits in the heart of 90,210. She purchased the Samuel Goldwyn estate, a property built by one of the founders of MGM, and instead of tearing it down for a modern glass monument, she did the opposite. She restored it to its original glory, investing years and significant resources into honoring its history until it earned landmark status. That respect for Hollywood's past is backed by a net worth that has surpassed the billion-dollar line, built through music, touring, and ownership. Her tour became global economic events, generating citywide surges in spending and demand wherever she went. Her presence in Beverly Hills symbolizes something deeper than celebrity: artist ownership. She owns her masters, her publishing, and the land where old Hollywood power once ruled. When she stays in that estate, she becomes the new mogul living in an old mogul's home, a poetic reminder that the industry has a new boss, and she writes her own checks. At number 5 is Rihanna, the billionaire disruptor. If Taylor Swift is the sovereign of music, Rihanna is the revolutionary of business. With a net worth estimated in the billions, Rihanna surpassed most of her peers not by following the playbook, but by rewriting it. She established a powerful presence in the Beverly Hills area by creating a private compound, purchasing multiple neighboring properties, and turning exclusivity into strategy. Her fortune comes largely from Fenty Beauty, launched with LVMH, but the real genius wasn't just the product, it was the disruption. By launching with 40 foundation shades, she exposed the beauty industry's neglect of women of color and triggered what the market now calls the Fenty effect, forcing competitors to evolve or be left behind. Then came Savage x Fenty, her lingerie line that challenged legacy monopolies by celebrating diverse bodies and authenticity. Rihanna turned cultural influence into capital without losing her edge. She doesn't chase trends, she becomes the trend. Her ultra-private Beverly Hills properties are not trophies. They're command centers and sanctuaries, spaces where a global brand leader retreats to reset while managing an empire. Rihanna represents the modern mogul, mother, artist, CEO, billionaire living in Beverly Hills, but answering to no one. At number 4 is Kim Kardashian, the reality star turned private equity titan. Love her or hate her, you cannot deny the math. Kim Kardashian executed one of the most dramatic business transformations of the modern era, moving from reality television to billionaire status through a machine built on branding, product, and ownership. Her relationship with Beverly Hills is foundational. She grew up in this world, but the wealth she has today dwarfs the environment she was raised in. The primary engine of her fortune is Skims, the shapewear company she co-founded, which began as a simple fix to a personal problem and exploded into a multi-billion-dollar brand. Skims doesn't just sell underwear, it sells an aesthetic, a lifestyle, and a version of confidence packaged for mass scale. Add in her skincare ventures and her role as a business investor, and the shift becomes clear. Kim is no longer just the talent, she's the capital. She turned attention into assets, image into equity, and public fascination into ownership. In Beverly Hills, where image has always been currency, Kim Kardashian proved that image can become liquidity and a permanent seat at the billionaire's table. At number 3 is Elaine Wynn, the Queen of Las Vegas. Here we move away from celebrity and into the realm of hard assets and high-stakes power. Elaine Wynn built her empire in luxury gaming as a co-founder of Wynn Resorts, helping shape iconic developments that redefined Las Vegas. But her path to personal billions wasn't smooth. It included a high-profile divorce, a boardroom battle, and a fight for control of her stake. She won. With a net worth in the billions, Elaine became a major power broker, not only in business but in culture. She is one of the world's most significant art collectors, making acquisitions that made headlines globally, and her real estate holdings are equally staggering, including historic, ultra-private estates that function like sovereign territory. She also reshaped Los Angeles' cultural life through philanthropy and leadership in major institutions. Elaine Wynn represents corporate resilience. She wasn't simply married to a tycoon, she was the tycoon, and she emerged as an independent billionaire who commands respect in both Wall Street circles and the art world. At number 2 is Linda Resnick, the agricultural empress. You may not recognize her face, but you absolutely know her products. If you've ever drank Fiji water, peeled a sumo citrus, poured Palm Wonderful juice, or sent a Teleflora bouquet, you've paid Linda Resnick. Alongside her husband Stuart, she co-owns The Wonderful Company, a private conglomerate valued in the billions and deeply embedded in American agriculture. Their control stretches across pistachios, citrus, farmland, and water rights tied to California's Central Valley, according to public reporting. And yet, they choose to rule this empire from Beverly Hills, from an iconic Beaux Arts mansion on Sunset Boulevard, often called Sunset House, one of the city's most significant estates, surrounded by manicured gardens that evoke the scale and symmetry of European royalty. Inside sits an art collection worthy of major museums. Their combined fortune is estimated in the multi-billion range, and Linda is widely recognized as the marketing force, the strategist who made Fiji water feel like luxury and pomegranate juice feel like health in a bottle. Linda Resnick represents a different category of wealth, not fame, not trends, but resources. Water, crops, land, infrastructure. In a digital world, she owns the physical foundations, making her fortune undeniable and recession-resistant. She is the quiet giant of Beverly Hills. At number 1 is Jami Gertz, the billionaire next door. The richest woman in Beverly Hills is a name that surprises many, because you may remember her from 80s films like The Lost Boys or from television roles that never hinted at what was coming. It's Jami Gertz? Yes, the actress. But her acting income is a rounding error compared to the financial universe she lives in. Jami Gertz is associated with a fortune estimated at over $8 billion, built through the world of private equity and strategic ownership. She is married to Tony Ressler, a major finance figure who co-founded Apollo Global Management and later Ares Management, firms that manage vast sums of global capital. But Jami is not a passive spouse. She is a partner in influence, in ownership, and in decision-making. Together, they are principal owners of the Atlanta Hawks and have held stakes across major sports franchises and investment sectors spanning industries and continents. They live in Beverly Park, the most exclusive enclave of the 90,210 ecosystem, where land is measured in acres and privacy is the ultimate currency. Their home sits like a fortress on a ridge, with sweeping views that stretch toward the ocean. What makes Jami Gertz the ultimate Beverly Hills queen is the stealth wealth factor. She can still act when she wants, still appear on red carpets when she chooses, but she returns to a fortune that dwarfs many of the most famous billionaires in entertainment. She and Tony are also known for significant philanthropy, regularly appearing among the most generous celebrity donors. Jami Gertz proves that the biggest fortune in Hollywood doesn't always belong to the biggest star. It belongs to the smartest investor, the person who played the game of fame, but won the game of finance. From beauty empires and private equity strategies to water rights, land holdings, and billion-dollar portfolios, these women prove that Beverly Hills wealth has evolved. This isn't about celebrity anymore. It's about ownership. They don't just live behind gates. They control the assets that make those gates valuable in the first place. And the most important shift isn't cultural, it's structural. Because when women stop being the face of wealth and become the architects of it, the power dynamics of an entire city changes. If you want more deep dives into who truly controls the world's most exclusive cities, subscribe. We're just getting started.